Hello students, welcome to video classes. So in the last class we are discussing about the interference. So I already told you that out of the interference, diffraction and the polarization, the interference is one of the very important concepts. So I hope all of you remember the definition. What does the interference means? When the two coherent light waves of same amplitude and frequency and constant phase difference will superimpose on each other, then the resultant intensity of the light will be increases and decreases, and you are going to get a spectrum on the screen which contains the bright bands and the dark bands. So this total phenomenon will be called as a interference. So what are the main important conditions for the interference? First condition, minimum the two light sources are required, because the interference cannot be produced by the single light source. So definitely we are in need of two light sources. Second one, the two light sources must be coherent light sources. Okay, so this is the concept. And after that, we will also discuss that why the bright band will take place and why the dark band will take place. So what are the conditions for the bright band? To get the bright band, either two crests must be interact or the two troughs must be interact. Then what happens? You are going to get the bright band where the intensity will becomes maximum. And when you are going to get the dark band, when one crest and another trough is going to be interact, then the resultant intensity will becomes minimum or zero. Then we are going to get the dark band will be obtained. So, when the main reason of the obtaining this bright band and the dark band is the path difference, because whatever the two light waves are going to be superimposing at a particular point on the screen will not be traveled the same distance. Okay, one of the light wave is traveling more distance and another light wave is traveling less distance. Due to the reason of this path difference, sometimes the crest and the trough will be interact, or sometimes the two crests or the two troughs are going to be interact to produce the bright bands and the dark bands. So all these concepts we are discussed in the last class. So right now we are going to discuss that what are the particular conditions to obtain the bright band and what is the particular condition to obtain the dark band we are going to discuss right now. So these bright band and the dark band conditions are very important to solve the problem. So all of you must concentrate and you need to remember these bright band and the dark band conditions to solve the problems very easily. Okay. So in the last class I already told you that when you are going to produce the interference pattern, if you want to produce the interference pattern, then the condition is you are going to take a candle at this place and you are just going to arrange a slit. After that, in front of that again you are going to arrange the two more slits you are going to be arranging here. One is called the S1 and another is called the S2. And this is the S slit. First what happens, whatever the candle is there, this candle will illuminate the slit S. And the light coming from the S is going to be illuminate the S1 and the S2. So when you are going to see from this side, you will observe that the two light sources are going to be takes place. And these two light sources are illuminated by the same single source. That's why these two light sources will be called as a coherent light sources. Now what happens, these two light waves are going to be produced or superimposed on each other, and when you are going to place a screen at here, on the screen what happens, you are going to get the spectrum is going to be produced which is called the bright bands and the dark bands will be takes place. If you want to take the center point, will be taken exactly at the center point of the two slits. This is the center point you are going to take as O. So in the last class we have already discussed that at the center point, which type of band is going to be produces. So the bright band is going to be produces. What is the reason? The reason is the light coming from the S1 and the light coming from the S2. Both are going to travel the same distance. When both are traveling at the same distance, what is the path difference will be? 0. If the path difference is 0, definitely what happened? The crest will be interact with crest or the trough will be interact with trough. So that's why always the central band will be always bright band. Now let us see how the bands are going to be produced. So first what happens, at the center point you are going to get the bright band. Okay, you are going to get the bright band, and this is called the zero bright band. So the central band is always considered as a 0, you should not count it. After that the spectrum is produced above the center point and below the center point as it is. How many bands are there on the above the center point, and the same number of bands will be there at the below point also. So how the bands are going to be calculated? Let's say that this is the center one will be the bright band, which will be considered 0. Next bright band, immediately what happens, you are going to get the dark band. This is called the first dark band. After completion of dark band, again what you are going to get, you are going to get the bright band. But which bright band it is? This one is 0 bright band. Then definitely it will be first bright band. So you are going to get the first bright band here. Next immediately what happens, you are going to get the second dark band. And above the second dark band, again what you are going to have? Second bright band. So second bright band will be takes place. Like that, the bands are going to produces above the center point. As is read below the center point also the same thing will be happen. Zero bright band, after that what happens, you are going to get the first dark band. Okay, first dark band. Immediately you are going to get the first bright band. And again what you are going to get the second dark band. If you are going to get the second dark band, then immediately after that what happens, you are going to get the second bright band. Like that, the bands are going to be produced on the screen, alternatively will be takes place. And one more important point I explained to you in the last class, that in the interference pattern, what are the thickness of the bands are there? Maybe the bright band or the dark band. The thickness will be remains same. How much thickness is there for the bright band? The same thickness will be there for the dark band. What are the band you may take? How many bands are going to be produced? All the bands is going to have the same thickness will be takes place. Okay. So this is the total interference pattern we are observing here. And at any point you want to find out the interference pattern. For example, at this point you want to find out the interference pattern. Then what happens? The light coming from the S1 is going to reach the point, and the light coming from the S2 is also going to reach the point. So the two light waves are going to reach this point. And what you are going to get here? Dark band. If you are going to get the dark band, means who is the responsible for that? The path difference is the responsible, and the phase difference. Because the path difference will produces the phase difference, and the phase difference will produces the path difference. So how much path difference is there? This path difference can be represented by delta x. So this delta x will decide whether we are going to get the dark band and bright band. So we are going to be find out that what will be the condition, path difference condition and the phase difference condition, to obtain the dark band at here or to obtain the bright band at that place. Okay, that we are going to discuss here. And remember that this is a path difference. Okay. So let us discuss about the derivation part. The derivation is not much more important. Just I am going to explain the formula here. Based on that formulas, we are going to write down the conditions. Okay. Remember this concept, how the bands are going to be produced here. Right. So let us say that we are going to write the equations, because we are already know that the light waves are the transverse waves, and we know the wave equation. What is the wave equation? Displacement of the wave, y is equals to a sine omega t. So how many sources we are taking here? Two light sources we are taking, y1 and y2. Let us say that the wave equation of the first light wave will be represented by y1. y1 is equals to a sine omega t. Okay, you can call it as the equation number 1. Okay, y is equals a sine omega t, you can call it as the equation number 1. This is the wave which is coming from the first source of light S1. Next, another one is y2. The light wave coming from the second source, y2 is equals to a sine omega t plus phi. Y is equals a sine omega t plus phi. You can call it as the equation number 2. So these two equations will represent that the amplitude is same. In the first wave, the amplitude is A. In the second wave is also the amplitude is A. In the first wave, the frequency is F. In the second wave is also the frequency is S. Can you tell me what is the phase difference in both the light waves? Phi. Because here omega t is there, here omega t plus phi is there. And this phase difference phi will be remains constant. Now what happens here in the interference pattern? These two light waves are superimposed on each other. And we know that the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem, if how many number of waves are going to be superimposed, then the resultant wave y is equals to displacement y1 plus y2 plus y3. If the three waves are there. Four waves are there, y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus y4. Now, how many waves are there? Two waves are there. If you are going to add them, then what happens? From the superposition theorem, y is equals to y1 plus y2. Y is equals to y1 plus y2. That means you are just going to add both the equations. So when you are just going to add both the equations, then what you can write? Y is equals to, y1 means a sine omega t plus a sine omega t plus phi. Okay, you are just going to simplify this equation. So when you are going to simplify this equation, the final displacement y is equals to, you are going to be obtained as 2a cos square phi by 2 into sine omega t plus phi by 2. Okay, this is the equation you are going to be obtained here. Okay, the derivation part is not important here. I am not explaining. If you are going to simplify this equation, then finally which equation you are going to obtain? Y is equals to 2a cos square phi by 2 sin omega t plus pi by 2. Okay, this is the equation you are going to be obtaining here. And when you are going to compare this equation with the general equation, y is equals to a sin omega t. That means at the place of a, what is the term is there? At the place of a, this is the term is there. 2a cos square phi by 2. So that means at the place of amplitude, 2a cos square phi by 2 is there. Let us say that here the amplitude can be represented by a. That's why let us represent the amplitude by capital R. If I want to represent it by capital R, the resultant wave can be written as y is equals to, this total term can be written as capital R into sin omega t plus phi by 2. This is the resultant displacement when the two light waves are going to be superimposed on each other. Okay, y is equals R sin omega t plus phi by 2. So this R is the resultant amplitude, because when the two light waves are going to be superimposed on each other, the resultant amplitude will be changes. The resultant amplitude sometimes it will be increases or sometimes it will be decreases. So this R is the resultant amplitude. These A are the initial amplitudes and R is the final amplitude we are going to get in here. And let us say that this equation is the third equation. Okay, this is the third equation. Now, we are going to refer to this R. R is equals to what you can write? 2a cos square phi by 2. That means this R is equals to, we can written as 2a into cos square phi by 2. So this is the resultant amplitude will be. So in the first year classes at the time of waves, we have discussed that the intensity of the wave is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Okay, we have discussed that the intensity of the wave is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Whatever the type of the wave you may take, but the formula will be remains same. Now, let us say that here the initial light source. This is also the initial light source, and this is the resultant light source. When we are going to refer to that here, the initial intensity can be represented by I naught. Okay, the initial intensity can be represented by I naught, and the final intensity can be represented by I. Okay, here you can take I naught, and here you can take I. So I is proportional to, here what you can write, a square. And so that means here I naught is proportional to a square. At this place what you can write, I naught is proportional to a square. Whenever the proportion removes, we are going to have a constant, that is I naught is equals to Ka square. Okay, the initial intensity I naught is equals to 4Ka square. And at this place what happened, I is proportional to R square. Okay, don't be confused here. I naught, the initial intensity of the light before they are going to be superimposed on each other. I is the resultant intensity after superimposing on each other. So I is proportional to R square. Whenever the proportion removes, we are going to have a constant. That is I is equals to K into R square. I is equals to K into R square. Okay, this is the formula we are going to be writing here. And let us say that this is the fourth equation and this is the fifth equation. Okay, fourth equation and the fifth equation. Go and simplify this equation. First I am going to take the fifth equation here. Now what I can write here, I is equals to, okay, I is equals to K is there. K means you can write as it is K. R square is there. R square means what happened? 2a cos square phi by 2. 2a cos square phi by 2. Sorry, it is 2a cos phi by 2. Sorry, this one will be 2a cos phi by 2. It is also 2a cos phi by 2 sin omega t phi by 2. Now whenever you are going to take the R square means what happened? It becomes 4a square cos square phi by 2. Okay, I is equals to K into 4a square cos square phi by 2. Go on simplify this equation. That implies I is equals to 4 I am writing outside, and this can be written as Ka square cos square phi by 2. I is equals to 4 into Ka square into cos square phi by 2. But Ka square is equals to what you can write? I naught. Then this equation will becomes, that implies I is equals to 4 into I naught into cos square phi by 2. This is the resultant intensity when the two light waves are going to be superimposed on each other. Okay, I is equals to 4 I naught cos square phi by 2. This I value decides that whether you are going to get the bright band or the dark band. So when you are going to get the bright band, when the I value will becomes maximum. When you are going to get the dark band, when the I value will becomes minimum. So this formula you need to remember. Based on these formulas, we need to simplify or going to be find out the conditions for bright band and the dark band. Okay, I is equals to 4I naught cos square phi by 2. Okay, let us go and continue this equation here. All of remember here, you are taking the two light waves, a sin omega t plus phi by phi. After that, you are finding the resultant amplitude, resultant displacement, and you can simplify it. You are going to get the resultant displacement. From this, you are going to find out the intensity. How we are finding the intensity is directly proportional to square of the amplitude. Based on that formulas, we are deriving, and we are going to get I is equals to 4I naught cos square phi by 2. And now, the very important part we are going to start here. So I is equals to 4I naught cos square phi by 2. Okay, this is the base equation to find out the conditions. Okay. Right. Now let us find out the condition for the bright band. Condition for the bright band. Okay, condition for the bright band. So when I go to condition for the bright band means I should be maximum. I should be maximum means I is equals to 4I naught, and whatever this cos square phi by 2 value must be equals to 1. When cos square phi by 2 value is equals to 1, then only what happens, you are going to get the maximum intensity. That means the maximum intensity I maximum is equals to 4I naught. What is the reason? Since cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1. Cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1. If this cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1, then I maximum will becomes 4I naught, then you are going to get the bright band. So, if you want to get this cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1, what must be the phase difference? That means this phi value we have to find out. Let us go and simplify this one. That implies cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1. Then what about cos phi by 2 is equals to plus or minus 1. Cos square phi by 2 is equals to 1. Cos phi by 2 is equals to plus or minus 1. Plus 1 means upward side, the crest side. Minus 1 means the trough side. That means plus 1 maximum on the upper side. Minus 1 means maximum on the bottom side. So cos square phi by 2 plus or minus 1 we are going to take in here. And once simplify that, if cos phi by 2 is equals to plus or minus 1, then what is the phi by 2 is equals to? Phi by 2 is equals to. What are the possibilities are there to get that one? First one, you can get the 0. Okay. If phi by 2 is equal to 0, cos 0 plus 1. Next one, you can take pi. Cos pi, cos 180 minus 1. After that, 2 pi plus 1, 3 pi, and so on up to what you can write? N pi. That means whenever the phase difference is 0, you are going to get plus 1, pi you are getting minus 1, 2 pi plus 1, 3 pi minus 1. Like that, whenever you are going to have these values, always you are going to get either plus 1 you are going to get or minus 1 you are going to get, and obviously what happens, the intensity will becomes maximum. But we don't want this phi by 2 value. What we want? We want this phi value. Phase difference we want. So that's why if phi by 2 is equals to n pi, that implies then what happened to phi is equals to 2 is going to multiply here 2n pi. This is the condition for the bright band. The phase difference condition for the bright band, that is phi is equals to 2n pi. And what are the n values will start from? N is equal start from 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay, n values will start from 0, 1, 2 and so on will be takes place. Then you are going to get the bright band. So blindly remember, whenever you are going to write the condition for the bright band, phase difference condition for the bright band, phase difference phi is equals to 2n pi. Okay, this value we are going to be substituted here. Obviously what happens, you are going to get the bright band will be takes place. Okay, this is the phase difference. And now it's the time to find out the path difference. To find out the path difference, we know the formula, that is the phase difference delta phi is equals to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. Delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. And what is this value must be equals to? Delta phi, the phase difference how much you are taking? 2n pi. So 2n pi means you can write 2n pi at here. What is going to be cancelled? 2 pi. 2 pi is going to be cancelled here. The path difference delta x is equals to lambda is going to numerator. That means delta x is equals to, it is going to multiply here n lambda. This is the condition for the bright band, the path difference conditions. And where the n values will start from? The n values will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So n is equals to 0, you can substitute. What happened? Path difference 0. Can you tell me at which point the path difference is 0? On the screen only one point is there where the path difference will become 0, that is center point. Okay? N is equals 0. N is equals 1 you can write lambda. N is equals 2 you can write 2 lambda. N is equals 3 you can write 3 lambda. Like that, whenever the path difference is equals to n lambda, then immediately what happens? You are going to get the bright band condition. So these are the very important conditions to solve the problems. There are so many problems are there based on this interference concept, and you need to remember these formulas itself. Okay, this is the condition to obtain the path difference and the phase difference. Okay, what is the phase difference is 2n pi and the path difference is n lambda. If this phase difference and the path difference is obtained by the two superimposing light waves, then which band you are going to have? You are going to have the bright band will be takes place. Okay, all of you must concentrate on these conditions. And next we are going to discuss about the dark band. Okay. Next we are going to discuss about the dark band. We are going to refer to the dark band. Okay, dark band conditions. We are going to refer to the dark band conditions. What should happen? I must be equals to 0. The resultant intensity must be equals to 0. If the resultant intensity must be equals to 0, what does that mean? This cos square phi by 2 value must be equals to 0. Cos square phi by 2 value must be equals to 0. That means I is equals to 0. Okay, I is equals to 0. When it is possible, since cos square phi by 2 is equals to 0. If cos square phi by 2 is equals to 0, that implies what you can write? Cos phi by 2 is also equals to 0. Okay, cos phi by 2 also equals to 0. Now, cos phi by 2 is equals to 0. When the cos value will become 0? When the angle is pi by 2. Okay, what is the angle should be? Pi by 2. So, pi by 2 means first when it is pi by 2, you are going to get 0. Next one will be pi by 2 plus 1. That means 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, 7 pi by 2. Then only what happens? The cos phi by 2 value will become 0. That means if the cos phi by 2 is equals to 0, what does that mean? Phi by 2 is equals to pi by 2. Okay, first pi by 2. Next one, you are going to write 3 pi by 2, or it can be 5 pi by 2 and so on. What will be the last one will be? 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. Okay, 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. For all these possible values, what you are going to get? You are going to get the phi by 2 and cos phi by 2 will be 0 and the total resultant intensity will become 0. What are the values of n will start from? The n values will start from 0. For example, n is equals, you can write 0. 0 means what happens? This value will become 0. 1 into pi by 2, pi by 2. Phi by 2 is equals pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 is equals to 0. Next, 3 pi means 1 you can write, n is equals 1. 2 1s are 2 plus 1, 3 pi by 2. N is equal to 2 you can write, 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5 pi by 2. 3 you can write, 3 2s are 6 plus 1, 7 pi by 2. Like that, what happened? The values are going to be changes and you are going to get the dark band. But our intention is not to find out phi by 2, to find out the phi. To find out the phi, what is going to be cancelled here? 2 is going to be cancelled. Then what is the phase difference will be? Phi is equals to, the phase difference phi is equals to 2n plus 1 into phi. This is the condition you need to remember here. Okay. So phi is equals to 2n plus 1 into pi. 2n plus 1 into phi. And what are the n values it will start from? N is equals to 0, 1, 2 and so on it will be takes place. Okay, this is the phase difference condition to obtain the dark band. Okay, for the bright band, what is the formula? 2n pi. And for the dark band, 2n plus 1 into pi. Okay, this is the condition to obtain the dark band. Now we are going to find out the phase difference and the path difference we have to find out. To find out the path difference, what is the condition you can take? The phase difference delta phi is equals to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. Okay, phase difference delta phi is equals to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. That is equals to, what is the phase difference we have calculated? 2n plus 1 into pi. 2n plus 1 into pi. Can you tell me what are the term cancels here? Pi is going to be cancels. If the pi will cancel, so we have to find out the delta x. Delta x is equals to, lambda is going to numerator, 2 is coming to denominator. That implies 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. This is the path difference condition to obtain the dark band. Okay, the condition to obtain the dark band, delta x is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. Okay, so these are the conditions to obtain the dark band. And where the n value starts from, again same, n values will start from 0, 1, 2 and so on, because n is equals to 0. Okay, n is equals to 0 you can write. What happened? It will become lambda by 2. That means when the path difference is equals to lambda by 2 or 3 lambda by 2 or 5 lambda by 2, then you are going to have the dark bands are going to be produced. Okay, these are the conditions for bright band and the dark band for the phase difference and the path difference. So what happens here, whenever the two light waves are superimposed on the screen, okay, at that point, if the phase difference is equals to 2n pi, then you are going to get the bright band. If the phase difference is equals to 2n plus 1 into pi, you are going to get the dark band. If the path difference is equals to n lambda, you are going to get the bright band. If the path difference is equals to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2, then you are going to get the dark band. So by using these conditions, it is very easy that if they will give you these conditions, or the path difference conditions or the bright band conditions are given to you, then you can easily calculate what type of band you are going to be obtained at that places. Okay, these are the path difference and the phase difference conditions, which are very, very important to solve the problems, and in the further concepts also we are going to use this part. Okay, so all of you must concentrate on this and try to remember all the conditions, and especially n values, from where the n values are going to be starts. Okay, that's all for today. The remaining topics we will discuss in next class. Okay, see you in the next class. Thank you.